So in last week's video, Worthiness Part 1, I discussed a lot about the false premise that we believe that we have to earn our worthiness in some way to feel worthy. And so we try to please other people or make other people happy, or we care about how other people think, or we feel that we have to work really hard, or that we have to have certain amount of material success to feel worthy. And that is absolutely a false premise, because worthiness is by the virtue of our being and existence. As soon as we come in as a consciousness, this eternal soul that comes into this physical manifestation, we are by the virtue of that existence worthy. We don't have to prove our worthiness. And so in this week's video, Worthiness Part 2, I share with you some of the practical tips that I've used in my own personal life to help me regain that worthiness, because I've been conditioned since I was a child to believe that I wasn't worthy, because my father always told us that we weren't worthy, that we weren't good enough. And so along with these practical tips that I share with you today, I also released meditation, which are like these mantras on worthiness to help you to regain your worthiness. So after this video, you could check out that video of a set of mantras that help you to make you feel worthy. So check that out after this video. So in the interest of collectively helping each other, I want to know from you, what tips and techniques have you used in your own life to help you regain your feeling of worthiness? Has it been meditation, mantras, affirmations, or something else? Leave your answers and comments below. So the first step in regaining our worthiness and to release that conditioned belief that worthiness must be earned, we have to start telling a different story to ourselves and to our subconscious mind. I always say that we have to tell a story to ourselves that is far nicer than even to somebody else, because it starts from within. Everything starts from within. And so I have this 3-step process in which I tell a different story to myself. So I start with step 1, which is, what is that unworthiness statement that I'm saying to myself? What is it? I might say something like, I am not worthy of that job. I am not worthy of that job. So then in step 2, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself the question, why do I feel unworthy of that job? And then you want to answer that question. It might be something like, I do not have the right skills, experiences, or education. I never made that much money. This might be your answer. And then you want to reflect and be mindful of this, why you're saying this to yourself. And then speak your truth about why you are unconditionally worthy and why you deserve this job. Speak your truth. Here, you say, education does not define my worthiness, right? You shouldn't be defined by education. Your worthiness, even if you have no education, by the virtue of your being. Lots of successful people did not go to college. That's true. There are a lot of people who are very successful that make a lot of money that didn't go to college. I am smart, so I can learn and acquire those skills. I deserve to make money because I provide a lot of value to my employers. These are all true statements. You can always learn and acquire skills and experience, right? To be qualified for that job. So there's no reason why that you should stop at this answer, these limiting beliefs right here. You need to start telling and speaking your truth. And so these are the 3 steps that you want to go through to really start to get to the story of your worthiness. Another example here might be, I am not worthy of that relationship. This is a very common one. A lot of people don't feel worthy of their relationship. So the step 2 is, why do I feel unworthy of that relationship? Ask yourself, why? Then answer. Give yourself an answer. He or she is smarter, more beautiful, more confident than me. You might say something like this to yourself. Why you don't deserve this relationship? Because you don't feel worthy. And so again, step 3, you want to speak your truth. You want to speak your truth. The truth is, this is not a contest. I am smart and confident in other ways that he or she is not. I know I am beautiful, and the person who loves me will also find me beautiful, right? Not everybody's going to find you beautiful, but the right person's going to find you beautiful, right? It's called diversity. It's called people like different things, different people. It's like, I like vanilla ice cream. You might like chocolate ice cream. Well, it's the same thing with people. Doesn't mean you're any less worthy just because this person doesn't feel that you're beautiful. There's somebody out there that's going to think that you're beautiful. So this is the column where you start to speak your truth to who you really are, which is that you have infinite potential in your life. That's your truth. And you want to stop these limiting beliefs about yourself here. And so then what you want to do is you want to take these statements and you want to record it on a recorder, like voice recorded. And then before you go to sleep, play back that recorder and listen to these statements that empower you, that speak to your truth. That's what you want to be doing. This is really important because it's in the repetition that you start to reprogram that unworthiness to worthiness. It's the repetition over and over and over and over again. Because a belief is a thought you have many times. So if you have a thought 1,000,000 times that you're not worthy, then you believe you're not worthy. If you start to say 1,000,000 times that you're worthy, you will start to believe you are worthy. So record these statements with your own voice and then listen to it over and over again. A good time is right before the bed. That's a really good time to listen to these statements. And so this is practical tip number 1 of how to regain your worthiness. So the second technique that I've used over and over in my life is a worthiness meditation. And like I said before, I released that worthiness meditation, so use that. But the premise of this worthiness meditation is to recall an event in your life where you felt unworthy. Maybe it was a childhood event or a teenager event. And go back to that event where you actually consciously remember feeling unworthy. And so perhaps it's a situation in your childhood. So what you want to do is you want to observe that event like a third eye witness. And I talk about this third eye witness observer 1,000,000 times because that's how you start to see the situation in more of an objective light, is by pulling your awareness back. And it's like you're wearing these binoculars, because when you're wearing a binoculars, you're like becoming a third eye witness, right? And so that's what you want to do. You want to recall an event. Maybe it's in your childhood where your mother said something like this to you. All you do is make my life difficult in every way that you can, right? If your mother said that to you, you feel unworthy. You feel like, wow, I don't do anything right by my mom. I don't make her proud of me. She doesn't love me, right? That's what you're thinking when your mother says this to you and you don't feel worthy. So recall an event that you could consciously remember. Maybe it's from your childhood or as a teenager. And then just sit there quietly, pull your awareness back like a third eye observer, and just keep observing that event that you recall where you felt unworthy. And just keep observing that event. Observing, observing, observing without judgment. That's the secret here, is you do not want to judge that event, because when you start judging that event, like my mom is cruel, my mom is mean, then you're getting sucked up in the drama. And you don't want to get sucked up in the drama. And that's what happens when you start judging. So you just want to observe that event like a third eye witness, like you're impartial. And as you keep observing that unworthiness event where you felt unworthy, then you start to place some distance from it, and you can start to now see and feel that, wow, that was really about my mother. It wasn't really about me. My mother had a difficult life. She grew up in a traumatic childhood. She was abused, and now she's taking it out on me, right? You can have an objective observance that your mother had some trauma going on in her own life. That's not really about you. So this is a technique that I absolutely love for many, many issues in my life, is to be a third eye witness observer. I talked about this for the grieving process, to recall a grieving event and pull your awareness back and become a third eye witness. So I love this type of meditation. Why? Because I acknowledge that emotion in me. I acknowledge it, but I'm not getting sucked up in the drama. I'm just being present with it. And just by being present and not getting sucked up in that drama allows me to transform that unworthiness energy into something else, into something magical, into something positive, into something beautiful. And that's what we want to do. We want to transform and evolve this energy of unworthiness to that of worthiness. And this is a really wonderful technique to do that. So like I said, recall an event that you could consciously remember where you felt unworthy, and then go into a third eye observer meditation and allow that unworthiness feeling to evolve into something positive. So practical tip number 3 that I personally use in my life is something that I've talked about before in my video about how to train your subconscious mind, is to use images and words in your daily life as you move through the day, to use images and words to retrain your subconscious mind. So the first tip is, we spend so much time on the computer throughout the day, right? Whether we're on our iPhone, our tablet, our desktop, we spend a lion's share of our time on the computer. So what I say is use passwords, because we're visiting so many websites, maybe Amazon or Netflix or YouTube, whatever it is, we're constantly having to use passwords, right? Pick and choose passwords that make you feel worthy. So if you have a Gmail account, create a password that says, I am unconditionally beautiful and lovable. Whatever it is, I am unconditionally worthy. I am the perfect image of God. What are the passwords that you could use that make you feel worthy? So that is such a great way to just train your mind as you're moving through the day, right? Because you're on the computer a lot. Also, I like to place images, words, and pictures on my bathroom window that say, I am worthy, I am enough, I am lovable. So every time I go to the bathroom, because I spend so much time in the bathroom, right? Washing my face or washing my hands, getting dressed, whatever it is, we spend a lot of time in front of the bathroom mirror. So that's another place where you could place images, words, pictures that make you feel worthy. Also, on the computer screen, we have a computer screen. You can place words that make you feel worthy. Put Post-it stickers on your computer screen. So every time you go on that screen, you see those words. You can also place words and pictures on your refrigerator that make you feel worthy, because we're constantly opening up that refrigerator door, right? So any place or anything that you spend a lot of time on or with, place pictures, words, and phrases that start to retrain your mind repetitively that you are worthy. So that's tip number 3. And so, like I said before, I have a meditation on mantras on worthiness. So make sure you go to that video after this video. And if you want to share any worthiness experiences or feelings, please do so, because your comments, feedback, and suggestions or stories really help me and my community at large. And if you like this video, please make sure to share it and subscribe to my channel. And I want to encourage you to join our Facebook community, where I do live meditation sessions, live discussions on such topics as worthiness, loneliness, grief. And I also provide one-on-one private sessions for you, for those of you who feel that you have a issue that you do not want to make public. So I do one-on-one private sessions on that community. So ask to join. The URL link is facebook.com/groups/yin and yang living, facebook.com/groups/yin and yang living. And if you want to visit all of my spiritual and holistic living tips, just go to my website at yinandyangliving.com. Om Shanti.